What's up, folks? I hope everybody's doing okay. It's February 15th, 2026. And I am moved today to talk about learning. I feel like it's so important to me because I love teaching, but also because I am not a phenom kind of player. And I've never practiced enough to become like an absolute, phenom kind of player. And that was by intention. Um, I always wanted to play a very diverse repertoire of music. And I felt early on in my career that, in my development, uh, that kind of a virtuoso career was not really what I was gunning for, um, and that is not any kind of judgment call on virtuoso careers. In fact, many of the virtuoso pianists of today and of history are the reason that I love playing piano and that I'm constantly trying to um, improve and learn new things because they're inspiring me all the time. So I'm just absolutely grateful and honoring the cats who do that. However, um, I will say that the industry is set up in a way that oftentimes kind of comes with the implicit message that those of us who didn't become the greatest of in the world, or kind of don't maybe deserve, or just even don't have the ability to have our own musical voice and have a fulfilling career. Um, and I think the reason that I'm still doing this now, and that I feel great about teaching still, is that I don't believe that message at all. I think that music, first of all, is for everyone, but music careers can be had um, in all ways. Some of the greatest musicians I know actually have full time day jobs that pay very well in another field, and then play just on their own terms at their own time. Uh, and and many career paths are viable, and also like amateur career paths are viable, and and for everybody across that entire spectrum of musicianship and musical career building, we should be able to learn and keep getting better and not feel self judgment because we're not the greatest. We should just be able to enjoy learning. And so I want to talk about learning today. In my study of teaching, I came upon three principles that I wrote a lot of my dissertation around and that I stick to this day. And I want to share those with you and talk about how I apply those to my own learning and model that for you, and hopefully inspire you to do the same. Before I go into the three principles, I just want to say practicing also entails having a really good routine, a trusted routine. For me, I have a bunch of PDFs and whatnot that I give to my students and my mentees to really sort their practicing into an organized ritual that they can count on, and they know if I spend this time doing warm up, getting my body ready, getting my relationship with the piano right, and then I spend this chunk of time practicing things in 12 keys and taking very manageable chunks of skills. Um, through multiple keys like that, that I can reliably count on getting better, learning new skills, and then I can learn my repertoire and be creative with my practice and listen and all of the other things that go along with practicing. But that routine is very important. Okay, now transition into the principles. Okay, so manageable, meaningful, modeled well. These are my 3 M's: manageable, meaningful, modeled well. So, what do I mean by this? Manageable. Okay, manageable. The most practical idea I can give you for this is that when you're practicing, anything you're practicing, you have a 3-to-1 ratio of success to mistakes. Mistakes are cool. We're all going to make them. They're very informative, and actually they're good for your brain, but only if the ratio is tilted towards success, and not just tilted like 60-40, 3-to-1. So that, for me, like, that's absolutely essential. 75% I can get this right. And I can do that again and again and again, right? And that way, you actually are forming the correct pathways in your brain. Just imagine yourself doing road work in your brain or writing code in your brain. Either analogy is cool, right? And if you're trying to build a road and then there's an off ramp or there's some kind of messed up road, that's a mistake, right? Now, you can figure that out, and you can put up a sign that says, okay, don't go there, right? Or like, change the lanes around. Okay, cool. But if if you had 3 mistakes to every one, you just never build the road, right? And same goes for code, right? Think if you're a coder, right? Have you ever done that? Like, how are you ever going to have a functional computer program if you have multiple mistakes every time you're making some correct progress? So we've all had buggy computer programs, and there's nothing more annoying, right? Think about this. You're building your own computer program in your brain. You don't want it to be buggy. You want it to be running smoothly, right? And so 3-to-1 ratio is like minimum, really, okay? That's for your practice. Now, this is way harder than it sounds. But without going any deeper into that, I just want to say, if you can't do that with any given practice, and I'm going to practice a little bit for you here, totally authentically, so I'll talk through it as I do it, and you'll see me struggle with it, right? But this is super real and super important. If you can't do that ratio, then you have to adjust. You have to contract or microscope, I like to say. You can think of it as contract and then expand, or microscope, telescope, whatever works for you. But you have to adjust and do less, right? This is so much harder emotionally than it should be, but it just is. We're humans. We like to do things right, and we like to rush through and try to get to an end, right? But that's not what effective practicing looks like, okay? And if you're a teacher watching this, think about this as a teacher with what you do for your student, right? When your student is practicing in front of you, do you stop them if they're doing too much and making mistakes over and over again? You should, right? You should make them do less and do it right over and over and over again, and they'll make a mistake. Okay, cool. See where that mistake is? Now, don't do that mistake with this finger or whatever it is, right? But it's one thing, you can control it and you can make it better, and then you can do it right over and over and over again, right? This has to be applied to yourself as a learner as well. Okay, listen, the human brain can only do so much because we have limitations on our information processing, short-term memory, and memory retrieval, right? So manageable practice is absolutely indispensable because this is how you build long-term memory and and how you consolidate your motor skill automaticity. Automaticity. That means you can do it automatically. You can do it without really thinking about it. It's just gonna happen. So, like for instance, I'm gonna practice a tune that I kind of struggled on a gig last night, which is "The Night Has a Thousand Eyes." It's fast, and we were playing without a drummer, and it was I just found it like confounding. I was tired. It was the end of the night, and I was trying to play cool pentatonics and stuff, but I was struggling. Now, can I play the chord? Yes. Okay, G major 7 over D, and then like C major 7 over D or D sus. Can I play a G major scale? Yes. Am I making a mistake? Yes. Whoops. But can I do a 3-to-1? Yes. Right. Okay, so G major scale, cool. But G major scales does not make improvisation. Can I play a G major pentatonic or a D major pentatonic, or C major pentatonic? All of those I might be using. Yes. But can I play them in a way that actually expresses what I want to express? That's where the rubber started meeting the road, and it was a road that had not been paved well. and and I found myself resorting to simplistic patterns, or just like some sloppy playing. And um, so I'm going to practice today, and I'm going to show you how I apply these principles. Now, okay, that was the first principle, manageable. Okay, we're going to go to the second principle, which is meaningful. So there are many ways in which things are meaningful, right, or important, because they're fun, because you love doing it, because there's emotional connection, because a trusted expert is guiding you to do this, and hey, you're trusting this person. Okay, you say I got to do it, I'm going to do it. That it's meaningful. All right. You just got to make sure that you're working on things with intention, not randomly, right? And not just because you can already do it too, right? You got to embrace meaningful challenges in effective learning. Okay, so this is like, why is this meaningful for me? Because I just played a gig last night. Would I be practicing this song? Like, no, I'd be composing and working towards a recording session that I have, or a show that I have. But this is meaningful to me because I struggled last night on this tune, right? And I've got a cool jazz gig coming up with some trumpet players, and like I know they're gonna call tunes like this. There's gonna be at least one that's like a burner, and so I want to be getting myself in a mindset and physically in a place where I can access some solid strategies to play fast in a modern jazz style, right? I just don't do a lot of that anymore, man. It's just the reality, sometimes, but not a lot. And so, use it or lose it. So here we are. This is meaningful for me. What's meaningful for you? All right, meaningful, modeled well. And just a note. I'm going to keep making these aside notes to teachers. If you're a teacher, right? Think about that for your students. What's meaningful? Are you doing things? Are you having your students do things just because they're like at a certain level and you think that's what they need to do at that level? Are you having students do things because that's what your teachers had you do, but actually this student, like, it's not relevant for? it's always an important question to ask. And there may be a lot of times when you as the teacher are imposing, hey, we have to do this, we have to do that, here's our tune list, whatever it is for your jury. But also we should always be coming back to what's meaningful for my student today, in general, in their career path, etc. Okay, moving on. Modeled well. Okay, whether your model is like a teacher or a friend on a gig, or in a session, your friend's playing some stuff and you're like, man, what is that? I gotta know. Or it's from a recording, right? Which is a lot of our models is from a recording. What modeled well really means is that you actually have a clear model for how something should sound, right? You have a clear model. If you want to practice to make concrete progress, you need to know what you're practicing and whether it's right or wrong, right? And so, look, as you develop like a professional standard and that keen, detailed awareness, you can actually start to trust your internal model more and more. You don't need an external model from a teacher, a friend, or a recording. You can hear what you want, at least in general or even very specifically inside. But I just want to say, never only trust yourself, okay? I don't care who you are. Never only trust yourself. You need standard bearers. You need models to really gauge gauge your own perception against reality. So to recap, manageable, 3-to-1 ratio, adjust, contrast, microscope so that you can do it in that ratio. This is all about creating automaticity and effective learning in your brain, right? Like neural pathway building, so that then you can retrieve the things that you're practicing in the moment when you're actually playing. Okay, manageable, meaningful is our second M, right? Meaningful, I don't need to expound on it again, it goes without saying, and modeled well, having a clear model of what it is you're going for. Okay, now that's 3 clear principles that you can use to guide your learning. And before I go into like practicing myself and kind of modeling that for you, I want to say like these are not the core principles of creative improvising. Okay, these are about effective learning, like really skill development. Now, if you want to develop your musical voice as an improviser or a composer, a creative musician, that's kind of a whole other set of considerations comes in. Some of that it goes all the way to like personal mission in life and all those things. And actually I have a whole like 4-day masterclass that I did on that last year that you can get free access to if you want. So, I'll just use this moment to say, like, come join the Inspired Contemporary Pianist community. If you want, it is free. You are welcome there. And I post these kinds of things a bunch. And there's opportunities for learning and resources and community and all of that. We're only a year in, and hopefully I'll keep this going for a long time. So come be part of it. All right, now when we talk about developing your creativity, right? We don't want to separate that completely from just like your effective learning. In fact, okay, within this framework of effective learning, you can also practice metacognition, strategic thinking, and basically just your creativity. Okay, there are actually concrete ways to practice each of those things: strategic thinking, metacognition, and creativity. All right, so that's more than I'm going to get into now, and I've made videos and resources on integrating language in a creative way, and metacognition, strategic thinking already. So let's just see how it comes up organically as I actually practice. All right. We will see. All right. Here we go. Let's dive into it. Okay. Night Has a Thousand Eyes starts with G major 7 over D, and then D sus. All right, and it goes on from there to C major and F7, and then back. Okay. Really, like, my problem came in the vamp, which is ironic because it should be easy. It's like it's 2 chords and it's all in G major, but it was like too much freedom, and I couldn't get my skills totally lined up. So let's think about our 3 principles and how we can apply them. So manageable, I'm just going to leave that right here. Manageable is always here. If I start messing up, I'm going to contract. When I start to gain control over something, I'm going to expand, but I'm going to try to always be aware of, is this manageable? Can I do it 3 times right to every 1 mistake that I make? Okay, excuse me, I have a little bit of allergies going on. Okay, meaningful. Yes, this is meaningful. I already talked about that. Modeled well. Now, what's my model? I don't really want to go back to a recording actually right now. I'm just not in the mood to like transcribe. I kind of know what I want, but I don't have it super concrete. Obviously, if I had it super concrete, I probably would have played better. So this is going to be the crux of this practice for me, is like, how do I hone in on what it is that I want to be able to say and play? So I think what I'll do is I'll take the tempo down and I'll sing a little bit and see if I can hone in on at least some phrasing, if not some exact notes, that I really want to be able to play, rather than have my fingers. Because honestly, like, I was just letting my fingers do stuff last night, and it wasn't satisfying. And so I want to see if I can hone in on it. Fingers off the piano. Oh, that was the first thing that came out. I kind of like it. It's kind of melodic more than like pentatonic. I do want to work out very consciously some pentatonic stuff too. I'm gonna have to be. I might have to not sing for that, because pentatonic, while it can be very melodic, in this case, I'm probably going to be more patternistic with it, and that's hard to sing. I tend to sing more melodically. What did I sing? That's a nice line. Okay, I'm going to go up an octave. Okay, I made 1 mistake. Let's see if I can do it again. That's cool. Let's go up tempo. One, two, 3, 4. Let's do it even sooner. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's cool. Now, the clarity of that line actually sets me up nicely for being able to continue from there. And this is one of the ways that I said that you can practice creativity consciously or concretely. That's it. You get something that's very concrete that you're going to stick with. Okay, that's it. But then you find a different way in or you find a different way out, right? So we could practice that now, that line, and then go somewhere differently each time. How about that? 2, 1, 2, 3. I like that. Oh no, I don't like that. I went for that pattern, but I didn't. I really wasn't what I was feeling. I like that. That's a pattern that I know. I don't remember what I did. Something. Connected to a little bit more bebop line. Okay, so that's now an example of getting a manageable line, right? I got that from a melodic intention or melodic strategy. So I'm working on thinking strategically also, tagging things, right? I didn't do that, say, oh, I'm going to be melodic. I just said I'm going to sing rather than play. But that kind of situated me in melodicism. Now I'm going to tag it, right? As kind of a melodic strategy. And then the ability to go from there and create something different that comes off of it, right, is practicing creativity. Now, let's go back and reverse engineer a little bit so that we can tag on a micro, like, theory detail level. Okay, what's happening? This is G major 7. I'm really playing in D. Playing in D over G. This is something I teach all my students in an improv class, is to play off of the relative 5. So we're playing a G major 7, but I'm going to play a D major sound. You can play a D major pentatonic. If you're trying to go bluesy and soulful, you can play D like major blues. Okay, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here we're on like a C major 7 over D, D sus. You could call this A minor 9 over D. And look at this notes. 7, 5, 3, 2, 1 of A minor. That's an A minor 9. So we can start to think about now, ooh, okay, now I have a taggable set of musical lines playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on D over G, and playing the A minor 9 over D sus. Okay, so we can take those ideas and start to apply them more creatively and expand on those. Now, do I love a bunch of that stuff that I played? No, not really. It's just like patternistic rambling. So clarity is where I want to get to here. However, part of getting to clarity sometimes is just laying all the Legos out and then being like, wait, what do I want to build? Right? Or like in this case, we're kind of like separating out one color of Lego or one shape of Lego, right? And it's like, okay, well, now I got all this A minor. All that A minor over D. Got all the colors and the shapes. But now what do I want to build, right? Okay. So let's step back and let's think about a pentatonic shape because I really want to go there. And then I've got about 10 minutes left. So let's think rather than melodically, I want to think of a phrase, like a contour. I wanted to do like a really good upward one last night and I kind of fumbled it. So let's start there. How about like it's a lot of dubba doobies, but that's a lot of dubba doobies, but let's try it. Okay, if I'm going for a D major pentatonic over G, ba da ba. If I'm writing out this contour, I'm thinking do do jump, ba do be, and then jump down, ba ba da ba, ba do be, da ba do be, da ba do be, da ba do be da. Okay, so that's my contour. Ba do be, da ba do be, da ba do be, da ba do be da. All right, so like maybe ba do be, da ba do be, da ba do be, da ba do be. I don't like it. It's too dabba doobies and too patternistic, right? What if we spread it out? No, what did I do? I went to B. Okay, cool. That's kind of like using the same pattern. And then it's giving me ideas for what I could play afterwards. Let's try it in time. Did I be my accountability buddy now? Did I do a 3-1? I think I did. Am I certain though? Like, I made a lot of mistakes in there, so it might have not been 3-1 if you count it all. Yeah, I can see my thumb going to B is still not. It's not 100% programmed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Okay. So this is what happens when I practice, right? It's like, oh, made a mistake. Stop. All right. Go slower. Ah, there we go. Now I'm seeing that A minor. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and now I could start to be more creative with it. All right. Now here's another way to be more creative with a line is when you have especially a longer line like this, and especially a patternistic line, is that you can start to what's the right word? Like dissect the rhythm and reinterpret it. Okay, so maybe. And now I'm just trying to add more notes, change it up, right? There are actually a lot of ways that we can, once we get a line, that we can start to be more creative with it. I like rhythm a lot as a vehicle for being more creative. I also like just being cool with that one concrete figure and then going out of it in a different way or coming into it in a different way. Let's see if we could come into this one in a different way, all right? So, there we go. I like a melodic line going into that. Okay. So that's two specific phrases that I worked out. One that was from my singing, and one that was from more of a contour place. And you can see I took the time with that second one in particular to actually work out the notes. Right? It's one thing to have a contour in mind, but some notes are going to work better with that contour than others. So, yeah, taking the time to figure out, and I'm going back to like my internal model, right? I'm not transcribing right now. Nobody told me, hey, practice this line. So, that's what I wanted to say. But I wanted to say it clearly and in a way that felt like hip, modern language for me. And I settled on. You know, is it the greatest line? No, I don't know. It's all right. But it expresses what I wanted to express. So it's meaningful. And now I feel like if I'm on a gig playing this tune, I could go for something like that and control my D major pentatonic better. And maybe go for patterns that have like a break in them, right? So it's not just dooba dooby 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 up the pentatonic, right? I'm going up, I'm skipping one. And it allows me to either progress up. Ah. Ah. And I can kind of keep the shape in my hands, right? So now I've got like a motor, a little bit of motor automaticity, at least a shape that feels familiar. And definitely the movement of the fingers, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 5, and then put my thumb down and go up. Right? Ba ba dooby da, ba dooby, da ba dooby, da ba dooby, ah. And come down to 4. So as you practice in this way, you pay very close attention to things, right? And I'm analyzing things as I'm doing them and after I do them, so that I can really create a tagging system in my brain and a retrieval system that I can count on when I get into performance. Now, you know, maybe that's all I have to say today. I think so. Yeah. You know what I need is interaction. So I've got a student coming in. I'm going to get to work with them and come into the community and let's work together. All right. Take care. Have a great one.